It is a joy to welcome you all to First Corinthian Baptist Church. It is always a signal honor when we can open this space to the real moral architects of America. People who are able to see through the smoke and see through the blood and the fire, to see and fight for a world that is feasible, a world where all people are free.
We are in a state of emergency in this country.
The history lesson is to say that nothing has changed in terms of state violence and state terror.
This is a veil of terror that generations have been strangled and suffocated with. And this is what began to be dragged into the light when people began to rise up. Starting in Ferguson, when the youth took to the streets and said, no, not this time, we're not gonna take it anymore. And then spreading everywhere.
Don't let people tell you we can't do better than this. Don't let anybody tell you that America is eternal and that the best we can hope for is getting some itty-bitty changes in how they dog us here. Don't let them suck you into framing what you're trying to do in the language and the terms of the system. Don't let them tell you that the only way we can do anything is to limit ourselves to the channels that the system puts out there. We've seen this movie before, and it leads to results in the whole genocidal situation we face right now. And yes, I said genocide.
One of the things that God says, according to the traditions, is that he hates brutality against the oppressed. Does that mean that we forgive and sit back and wait? Does it mean that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, therefore we sit back and wait? Does it mean doom is coming? Sit back and wait for doom? No, I think there's only one thing we need to read into what God hates. God hates it. God hates it when people are shaken and refuse to wake up.
I am the mother of a son who has been stopped by police over 30 times. That means my son's life has been threatened over 30 times. He has been terrorized by the police. You see, I am every black mother.
And I'm a human being. While I come from a legacy of freedom fighters, it's a legacy not only that I carry, but that I share with everyone in this room. While I come from a family that is rich and multicultural, I am unapologetically black. I am unapologetically black. I'm unapologetically what? Unapologetically?
This is to symbolically lift up the names and the lives of these beautiful souls that are no longer with us. They're no longer with us because their lives were stolen by police terror and police murder.
Because I want to see what side people are on. Ayana's 7 years old, sleeping. They came in and automatically blew my granddaughter's brains out in front of me. Like I said, I seen the life and light leave out of Ayana's eyes. I've traveled all the way from Detroit, Michigan to ask everybody, which side are you on?
Is my grandson. He was 19. He's young. He is black. And he is beautiful. And I am here to tell you that they took his life with 7 bullets. He shot him 3 times, dropped his flashlight, picked it up, shot him 3 more times, looked at him, and shot him again. My boy was unarmed, and nothing he did was deserved for that.
My son was killed. I use the word killed, but I really like to say murdered. Whenever you shoot and kill someone who's unarmed, committing no crimes, no threat to anyone, and you shoot and you kill that person, that's murder.
My son's name is Corey Mickens, and he was killed here, right here in Manhattan, March 13, 2007. And he was murdered while he was sitting in a restaurant eating. I'm still on the fight for justice for my son, and I'm not going to give up the struggle or the fight. And I would like everyone here to understand that I'm going to be out here fighting for the justice for all.
Every time I look at a young face, I see my son and think about his demise. Every time I see little boys, I shed a tear because I know that one day they can grow up and be killed, taken from you.
The reason why Rise Up October is so important is because there ain't enough room in this church for all of the names.
We had enough of y'all coming in to our community, destroying families. We had enough of nobody paying attention. All of us sitting here today need to grab another 500 people and let's flood New York on October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
We now have a goal, the Stop Mass Incarceration Network, of bringing more than 100 family representatives to New York in October, and we gonna get them here. But we need your help in order to make that happen.
And some people tonight have talked about it stops here. It begins here. It begins here. And there are people across this country who are listening to what we do here today. There are people who are watching what we do. And from this point forward, things have to be different. And I'm going to ask you, as you're thinking about whether you can do $500, what do you tell that 7-year-old? What do you I'm not going to tell you what I told him. What do you tell him? It's going to be all right, baby. It's going to be all right. Just do the right thing. Some of these people sitting in this role taught their children to do the right things, and their children are dead.
This is why we got to be out there on October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. We will change history. We will inspire thousands, and yes, millions, who are tired of being treated like criminals. Tired of seeing cops patrolling their communities like occupying armies. We're going to inspire them and move them to see that they don't have to keep taking this, to see that it's not their fault, and they will stand up and act to stop this. We will rally to their side thousands of people from other sections of society who refuse to stand aside while people are being beat down and murdered for no other reason than the color of their skin. And we're going to open the eyes of those who don't suffer these horrors, challenging them to quit swallowing the lying justifications that the system gives for giving a green light to killer cops, and challenging them to get off the sidelines. Again, which side are you on?
But black people at our best hated people but taught the world so much about love. Treated unjustly but taught the world so much about justice. Traumatized but taught the world so much about how to be cool. Black people at our best have been truth tellers, which means we've been cross bearers before we were flag wavers. But how do we do it? It's a spiritual question as well as political one. And I'm going to end on this because, as I said, we don't need long speeches. But for black people, anytime we decide to straighten our backs up, to tell the truth, to bear witness, and be willing to live and die for something bigger than you. Anytime we decide to do that, the powers that be start shaking.
If you're going to be here October 24th, put your hand together. Just who's going to be here? Come on, come on, come on. Come on here. And so it is with that same hand that you clap that I'm going to ask you to reach down deep and do what's necessary to support this movement as you never have supported it before.
5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hell you talking about? 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 Hell you talking about?